So you invite your friends and your family over for our best curry chicken, and the first thing they say is, don't make it spicy, eh? Well, listen, don't accept the invitation. Stay home. Joke thing. Anyhow, you're making our best curry chicken, but not everybody can handle the spicy. If you're looking for the best spicy condiment to put on the side, so you can still get your spicy on, regardless if there is some little, there's all kind of meow kind of thing happening out there. But anyhow, pepper choker, you're gonna love me for this one. First thing I'm doing is giving the peppers a really good wash, because we don't know what sort of chemicals they would have been sprayed with on the farm. These are not from my garden, unfortunately. Let's grab those over. I'm filming with my iPhone today. But give them a good wash, then you're gonna rinse them off, air dry them. Then what we need to do is get a nice hot grill. Well, any sort of open fire where we're gonna char them, blister the skin, and that's going to not only give it a unique flavor, but it's also going to give it a bit of a smokiness as well too. The thing about it is, what I prefer when making pepper choka is not fully mature peppers. So it's a combination. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4 ripe ones, and the rest of them are all green. I find the flavor profile on a green pepper, a green Scotch bonnet, is totally different than the red or the yellow ones, which are fully mature. So I'm just going to grill these on a nice hot grill. And then if you have a wood fire or a charcoal fire, even better. If you want to do it on the stove top, you can do that. If you want to do it in the oven, you can do it in the oven. Very high heat, so maybe 500 degrees in your oven. Top shelf, top rack. Within a few minutes, you'll see it starting to char. Actually, it's only been about 90 seconds, and I'm getting that lovely blistered skin that I'm looking for. So it's just a matter of flipping them. And yo, be careful when you're out here on this heater, because not only is the smell of these roasting peppers gonna hit you on your nose, but that fire sauce over your hand there, boy, hey, you could burn up yourself. So organize accordingly. And I know some of you may want to call this Murtani, and I'll tell you this, stop that. This is not Murtani. This is Murtani, your pretty, sexy, just luscious stepsister, the one who don't even need kajar to look good. Because with Murtani, you add in other things like eggplant and okra and all them different things. This is just pepper, garlic, onion, salt, and some oil. Yeah, it only took about 5 minutes, and I've got exactly where I want it to be. And you'll notice they will collapse, and that is just the hot air coming out of it. They will collapse once you take it off the heat source. No problem. Allow them to cool down now. And you know, you're probably asking, well, Chris, you left the stems on. Is there a reason? No, just looking pretty and nice and thing like we talked about it. We talked about it, the pretty stepsister. Anyhow, we're gonna remove all of those stems, yeah, and then we're gonna organize accordingly as we proceed. I'm gonna go in with some garlic, and you know, here's the thing. This is a preference thing, but the more garlic you can put in here, I personally think it makes the overall pepper choka so much more better. The same thing with my thinly sliced onions. That there is gonna, boy, I'm telling you, need some salt, and I'm using sea salt. And it's just a matter of crushing that garlic until it's nice and smooth. And the salt will work as a sort of an abrasive to help crush that nice and smooth. Now, if you want to put everything into a food processor, look at the garlic just jump out now. Or if you want to put everything into a food processor, I mean to say, go ahead if it's easier for you. Just remember, clean up later. And when handling Scotch bonnet peppers, wear gloves, wash your hands with soap and water. I already removed all of the stems, so my fingers would have been in contact with raw peppers. So be mindful of that, yeah? With the garlic all smooth, I've added the Scotch bonnet peppers, the roasted Scotch bonnet peppers, into the mortar and pestle. And what I may recommend doing, and I don't have my tripod, as I mentioned earlier, I'm filming with my iPhone. I would cover it with my hands. Remember, wear gloves, eh? This is gonna get into contact with your hands, and you rub anything after and all that is pure pressure. Cup it, and then you're gonna, so the splatter won't come back at you as you crush it. Also be mindful that once you start crushing the peppers, the smell may want to choke you, so you may want to vent your kitchen as well. It will take a minute or two, but being very careful, You don't want the juices jumping up at your eyes either. Go ahead and break this down. The sort of texture that you're looking for is something a bit chunky like this. Let me see if I can. And the sort of texture that you're looking for is something chunky like this. And that is ready to go. If you wanted to hit this, about half of a lime, the juice of about half of a lime, it will brighten it up considerably. I ain't going with the lime today, but I'm just giving you all other options to add more flavor. Now it's to top it with all of that lovely thinly sliced onion. Do not stir it in yet. In my little frying pan, I'm going in with about half a cup of olive oil. And this step is what we call chunky. So we're gonna heat this oil. It's gonna start smoking when it's very hot. Then we're gonna pour it directly on top of the onions. And this is why I wanted the onions not stirred in yet. That's gonna, by pouring that hot oil over the onions, it's gonna temper the onions and add flavor as it makes its way down into the actual choka. With my oil nice and hot, we're just gonna pour that directly on. Then it's just a matter of hitting that a nice little stir like that. Now here's the thing, you can save this in the fridge for up to about 3 weeks easily. Pepper choka, not Murtani. If you're looking for Murtani, that recipe and video is available on CaribbeanPot.com. Sup soldiers, listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie. So there you go, what I believe is the ultimate side condiment to curry dishes. Chris here at CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Yo, and you know, normally I usually add a bit more oil to this, to be honest with you, because that oil, man, when you drizzle it on stuff. But remember, spicy, very, very spicy. Side condiment, curry chicken. You're good to go. Irie? What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.